Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for iPad today is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
Coming up, HBO Go is finally Airplay-enabled, and we have some other Airplay-friendly apps as well.
Plus, watch out, Pandora. Slackers gunning for you. Tim Cook's talking up a storm, and your Siri tips.
There are a lot of Siri tips, all that, and from 4chan to DrawQuest in one easy person. Up next on iPad Today.
iPad Today is brought to you by GoToMyPC from Citrix. GoToMyPC connects you directly to your Office Mac or PC from any other computer and from your iPad and iPhone. Sign up for a 30-day free trial today at GoToMyPC.com. Use the promo code iPad. And by Audible.com. To download the free audiobook of your choice, go to audiblepodcast.com/iPad Today. And by Lantronix, makers of the XPrint Server. Print from your iPad, iPhone, or any iOS device to virtually any printer. For more information, visit xprintserver.com/twit and enter the offer code TWIT to receive free shipping on your device.
Woo! Woo!
Who is Moot?
Christopher Poole. Very good looking.
Cute.
I know.
Sometimes they call him not Moot, but cute.
Coot?
Coot. I told you not to make me laugh.
Leo's got an issue for anybody. I'm sorry.
I need thoracic surgery.
This whole show is going to be
because you make
bit
me
of a
laugh.
nightmare.
You make me smile. Smiling is okay. I don't cough.
Mine's okay.
But don't make me laugh.
Is it because you're like, and then it gets,
I don't know.
starts
You've
to
had that, haven't you? When you have it's not. I'm not sick anymore, but it's a tail end of a cold. And you
knock on antique.
You never got the cold.
I
twit
don't
cold.
really get
Brickhouse
bronchial issues.
Oh, good.
When I just it's unusual. I don't want to say that I never.
Unusually open airways. Do you ever wear when you sleep that thing over your nose?
No, because I don't snore or anything.
You don't need it.
No.
Oh, that's awesome.
I actually kind of sleep under the covers, sort of like a little, like a. I don't know.
Is that because you're scared of the cats?
A burrowing animal. I'm not scared of the cats. I'm scared of monsters. I don't. No, it's like you want to cover your ears in case the monsters yell.
Aww,
yeah.
That's really cute.
Yeah, I know. A little too old for that. But
noisy
hey,
monsters.
we're being honest today here on iPad Today. Hey, Leo,
from this show, I know more about your sleep habits than really I ought to. I know all sorts of stuff. I know where you keep your iPad on the pillow to your left.
That's right.
Just
it's actually to my right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because I sleep on the left.
Well, if you sleep on your stomach, it would be your left. If you're on your back, it's your right.
And I sleep on my stomach quite often, actually,
I know.
so that's a
So
really
it is.
good point. Thanks for setting me straight.
I'm just saying.
So, yeah, I just want to overshare. That's kind of the fun of the show. But you know what's actually really, really, really fun and extremely relevant is the fact that HBO Go, as of just a couple of days ago,
huge news,
has made AirPlay enabling available. Which means you still need an HBO account to use HBO Go.
You need a cable company account.
That's right.
And you have to pay for HBO through a cable company. Not all cable
which
companies
includes a
support
large
this.
package,
Right.
so it's not even like you can just buy HBO on its own.
But if you're, Comcast, Xfinity does it, Cox does it.
Mm-hmm.
So most cable companies will, you'll need an account, you'll need to be paying for HBO, then you can log on the HBO Go app and start watching HBO shows. And we've been able to do it on the iPad. Really, I want to kind of state this correctly, though, because the iPad, since iOS 6, has had built-in mirroring. So if you have an Apple TV, you could just say in your iPad, just send the video from the iPad out to the Apple TV, and it will, even the interface and everything will show up. So the issue really is, let me double tap here, and I'll show you. It's right in here. There it is. And I can see, you see our Brickhouse Apple TV. With AirPlay mirroring, send everything on your iPad's displayed on Apple TV wirelessly. There's the little lie there because some apps block it.
Right.
So what we're really saying is HBO Go has unblocked it.
HBO Go has unblocked it. And what's cool is that you say, well, if you need an HBO account and you're already paying, then what's so great about all of this, think about it. If Leo has an HBO Go account and he comes over to my house because we want to watch Girls on Sunday.
Love that show.
So good.
Yeah.
A lot of nudity, but
They're making a big deal about that. If
Yeah, I
Lena
know.
Dunham wants to play ping pong naked, go right ahead, Lena.
I think it's adorable. I think it's great.
not
We
sure.
should all be nude more often, okay?
I'm ready.
That's how we started in this world.
And it's how we're going to end.
That's how we're going to end this particular show.
Do you
So
think
just
they-
make sure you tune in.
Actually, no, I want to be buried in a suit.
Well,
Not my,
I
my
didn't say
union
that.
suit.
Right, okay. Your birthday
Anyway,
suit.
my birthday suit.
But so you come over to my house. I say, I made dinner. I'm hosting you. I'm so sorry I don't have HBO Go. And you go, never mind. You have an Apple TV, right?
Because I could come over, so you don't pay for cable.
But
I could come over. It's like portable HBO. I could watch it on your TV.
It's a viewing party in
didn't
a
even think of that.
backpack. Yeah, that's what I love about it because
Well-
there are a lot of HBO shows. Game of Thrones in a couple of months. Well, actually, in not even 2 months, will be another one where it's like I like to watch that with my buddies.
I'm going to switch over to our Apple TV because we have Apple TV hooked up to our iPad today monitor here.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to point out something that really might even be a bigger question, which is since HBO Go is now on Apple TV, what
Yeah.
do we need it on the iPad for? If you have an Apple TV, isn't HBO Go
No.
like right down here? It's not?
No.
Oh, so it's going to be. That's the rumor. It's going to be.
This is sort
But
of.
this is an interim.
This is our bridge.
I see.
HBO Go is not an Apple TV app currently.
So I can turn mirroring
this
on,
creates.
and in a moment,
But this is almost better
you'll
because
see
an
there-
HBO Go.
There's my iPad.
Yeah.
And so that was the point, is that you can see everything, but when you launched HBO Go, it would say, sorry, no. Actually, it does it now still, and I'll show you.
Also, mirroring is not quite the same as just airplaying
It's not
a
as
video
good.
because, well, you see, I mean, it's mirroring your whole iPad. It's not as if it's. See what I mean? You see the stuff at the top, and
Well,
it's not quite the same.
it's different.
Well, you're seeing the iPad itself.
Well, let's-
the
let's
interface,
watch a little bit of
like
Lena
a
Dunham.
screenshot. No.
So it
She's
says
nude so
on
much.
my iPad, it says AirPlay. The video's playing on Apple TV.
Uh-huh.
And then it is starting to play on,
Yep.
on Apple TV. Actually, we're watching Veep, which is another wonderful show.
Very
I can't
funny.
Wait till that comes back.
Very funny.
And it's full screen. There's no controls on there. I still have a control on my Apple. Actually, I'm kind of surprised this worked. But now I realize why.
Why?
Because we've hooked this up directly. When we were using it earlier, it complained. It says HDCP content protection has to be enabled. So that's something you might run into. If for some reason your television or even your HDMI cable are not compliant with this copy protection scheme, HDCP, it won't play.
Do you think that that's something that a lot of people are going to run into, though?
Well, depends what they're doing, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just playing it on your TV, no, probably. All HD TVs are compliant.
Yeah.
But if you were trying to, I don't know, record it, or that's why, by the way, they don't want.
So
to
if you
record
see something like that, that's what's
That's
going
what's
on.
going on, yeah.
But this is, for the most part, it's really great. A friend
can
of
turn on
mine, I
closed
was just
captions?
telling her last night, I can come over to your house. I said, you have an Apple TV? She says, yes. I said, we can watch anything on HBO
Isn't that
Go.
cool?
Anything. We can watch all 5 seasons of The Wire. I wouldn't do that to her, but we could.
You did watch the Veep, right? The Veep
Oh, yeah.
is a great
I
show.
love it. It's very funny.
Yeah, it was a good 1-2 punch. Veep
Yeah.
girls, Veep girls.
Veep girls.
Yeah.
Veep girls.
So there you go. So that's one of, but there are others
Yeah.
that will allow you to do this.
Yeah, in fact,
Let me
there's
give you back. I'll give you back control.
Oh, thank you.
That's the other thing. You could fight over the Apple TV.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's always a lot of fun.
So I'm going to give
Yeah.
you control back of the Apple TV.
Thank you. So one of the apps that we have talked about in the past is ShowYou. Do you remember ShowYou?
Yeah.
ShowYou it's ShowYou, all one word. What's neat about ShowYou is this is an aggregate of all the videos that I've shared with social networks that I have connected to ShowYou. For example, the Anchorman 2 official trailer. I think that I sent this out on Tumblr maybe a couple of weeks ago. So this is something that I shared. And this is, actually this is that's sort of a bad example because I know about my videos. But let's say I'm following these folks here.
Discovery, we call this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And let's go back to my main feed here. So this is the internship official trailer. Oh, cool. Yeah, okay. I heard about this movie. It's like the guys go to Google kind of thing. So we're watching this stuff on ShowYou, and these are pieces of video content that my friends who I'm connected to have
were
shared.
watching.
Yeah, and exactly. And so what I can do is I can go ahead and send that over to the Brick House. Video is playing on Brick House.
Look at that.
And what's neat about this is that ShowYou is one of these video discovery tools where sometimes I kind of just want to sit on the couch and watch some stuff. And this is great for that because I could watch it on my iPad, but if I have the capability to AirPlay it, I always do that.
One thing you will notice, and I'm noticing it on this one, this is an HD quality video coming from your iPad. I don't know if that's because, I would suspect it's because ShowYou is playing a lower quality video.
It was shared by Fast Company's account, so who knows
YouTube video or
who knows where they got it from. Yeah.
In fact, I'm almost certain this is YouTube. So, but if you're using Netflix or HBO Go, it actually does look as good as it would look if you were doing it through an Apple TV Direct.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really like ShowYou. I think it's fun, and you can even have it on. I just went ahead and swiped from.
Who wouldn't love that?
Who wouldn't love it? This is from the Reddit's account, so I'm not really sure what we're gonna see. Oh dear, interesting. What's happening?
I hear you knocking.
Let me in.
Come in.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Now, it is a paper door, so at some point the cat's gonna figure that out, I think.
Let me in. Aww. See, this is what happens. You just sit here and you look at videos. ShowYou's kind of neat. So I could have this even on autoplay. So I just go from one video to the next.
And you don't know what you're going to see because it's just your friend's stuff.
That's right.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. It's just a lot of fun. So it's a little bit more of the random stuff.
Whoa.
He's a tired sloth or something. I think that's what that is, right?
Wow.
Oh, hi, buddy.
Baby sloths are so small they can grow up
Slothbill.com.
in a frisbee.
Oh. All right, so we have to stop, or we'll get off way off track.
I'm just glad you like fat, sleepy animals.
Totally. Yeah. It's my favorite thing.
They are pretty sweet.
So that's ShowYou, which is a totally free service, by the way. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's just good when I want to see random stuff, and I follow a lot of business companies, you know, like the Fast Company website, or obviously the Reddit website, but. It's pretty much whoever you want to follow and what kinds of videos they're sharing. Should
mention that HBO also owns Cinemax, and so there is a Cinemax Go as well that does pretty much the same thing. And
really?
We'll stream and all of that stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically the same thing. Just the Cinemax is another cable channel.
But you have to, you don't necessarily
you have to have a Cinemax
access,
account, blah,
right?
blah, blah. Yeah,
to Skinemax, I think is how you pronounce it.
Some people call it that.
Skinemax. I don't actually, is it just
No.
skin stuff?
Cinemax has a lot of stuff, but there's Cinemax,
I've never had it.
It's Max After Dark that gets a little racy.
Oh, but HBO has some of that stuff too,
They all do,
yeah.
Yeah,
But
no, Cinemax is you know, it's like kind of a low rent HBO. That's where the movies that they don't really want to play on HBO go, or after they're old on HBO. Die Hard with a Vengeance, Crooklyn, Death Becomes Her. These are mostly older. Contagion, though, that's not so old, right? That was a good movie. Gangster Squad, the final cut. That's probably a promotional video. So that's Cinemax.
So it'll work the same way.
Right. Does Netflix? I haven't tried it, but I presume that Netflix will also.
It doesn't, and here's why. Netflix is already an Apple TV app.
So they don't need to.
So there are like weird workaround ways, but no.
That's odd.
It's an Apple TV app, and so the company has said, no, we're just not interested in developing that. Why would we? If you have an Apple TV, then you're good to go. You can't AirPlay it. But I guess that's true.
I'll tell you why you would like it, because the touch interface is a lot easier on the iPad.
Not only that, but if you go over to someone's house again, I'm having all these viewing parties. It's nice if you just have your own queue, right?
And it's your own. You don't want to have to log in.
Yeah, you don't want to have to be logging in and out on Apple TV.
If I launch Netflix in the mirroring mode, it still comes up. Is it going to say at some point, don't do this? Yeah, see, it did. So now I'm seeing the Netflix interface here, but I'm not seeing.
I think it'll only send audio if you try.
Let's play. We've got the BBC version of House of Cards.
Okay.
Let's see. So now this will play. I think I tried this at home the other night, and it did play back on my TV, but maybe that was. Yeah. See, it is playing back. Now the quality's not great.
Oh, it is.
The quality's not great.
On Netflix, huh? Yeah. And you're not mirroring? This is just straight up AirPlay?
I am mirroring.
Oh, you are mirroring.
Well, but it's not. No, it's not. It's airplane because there's what my iPad looks like. That's not what the iPad. It's not. So it works.
Oh, good. Well, maybe that's something that they changed their minds on.
Yeah.
Because I remember
it's kind of a silly
spokesperson saying, no, we're not going to do that.
And I also noticed, the quality isn't bad. I take it back. That's about the same. You see more. I see more artifacts from the compression
It's not
so
so
it may be
bad.
a little bit lower quality.
Well, look, I mean, you're also watching an old movie, so
Right.
it's
1990.
not. It's not gonna look.
Yeah.
1990.
Yeah. It is widescreen though.
Yeah.
So Netflix, I guess, does work. All right. And I like the touch interface of Netflix. I'd far prefer to use the iPad interface here to browse through my Netflix than to use the interface on the iPad.
Well, and if you
I mean the Apple TV.
yeah. If you, sorry, I'm trying to log into my Vimeo account and something very weird is going on with Vimeo. Look at this strange error message. The operation couldn't be completed. Kvemerider
Oh,
domain.
Kvemerider.
Vimeo error domain error 0. Okay.
It's nice that they shared that with you.
Thank you for that.
That's actually a
That's very
next
strange.
step error. That's an odd error.
It's a very odd error. I'm not actually sure what's going on. Some sums up with Vimeo. I hope that they'll push out an update pretty soon. But in a perfect world, Vimeo would have worked just fine, and I would have used that as another example. Vimeo also has a Roku app. I know it's, some of you don't have Apple TVs or Roku, so we don't want to get too much into this whole cord cutting thing, but I enjoy just searching through staff picks and stuff like that on Vimeo. There's some really good animated shorts and music videos and a lot of artistic people. What was that?
Nothing.
Jeez.
Watching a little YouTube video.
Oh, watching a little YouTube video, were you?
Yeah.
What is this?
I don't know.
It's something.
She's angry.
I think
this
an
is
angry
the Oreo
library.
cookie ad from the Super Bowl where they get in a fight and everybody's whispering and then the firemen come.
Oh,
they use a whispering
I
megaphone
see.
and
Right.
all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
Oreo.
this is playing.
Big hero.
This is playing from the YouTube app, which is also Airplay-enabled. So again, your Apple TV has a YouTube app, but you might like the interface, which has been updated on the iPad a little bit better for
Exactly.
browsing around. Plus, it's your account, so if you're visiting family or friends. Now it's segueing to something else.
Oh, Leo. Yeah. I think AirPlay is. Whoa.
I think
Whoa.
am I Rick-rolling people right now?
No, that's who is that?
John Waite.
Oh,
Missing
gosh.
You.
Oh, that's a good song.
Yeah, I ain't missing you at all. Let's play the little audio for the folks.
Just
at
for
home.
just.
I actually
just a
can't
little
because
bit.
it's playing audio through the television.
Oh, you have
so
to receive
there's
it.
no
Turn up
way.
the volume.
Yeah.
Do this long distance line tonight.
That's your era, isn't it? I ain't missing you at all. So that's the YouTube app. I'm pulling up a few
Most
things that we
heavenly
can. I'll give you back the thing here. I have to release this each time, which is, I guess I have to release it.
What?
Could you just steal it from me? The Apple TV.
Yeah.
You could just steal it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I could play on the same network and then I would
just-
override
it would
you.
just so if you do so play it, we'll be
Exactly.
smart enough to. How about iTunes U? Can we? I'm going to try that. Now, let me see, because I download a lot of college courses.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah? You know, I feel silly. I sort of forgot about iTunes U.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
See, it
that's
supports
dumb.
it. So let's watch a little iOS development course.
Okay.
A little lecture about writing software. You see, here we go. We got the core iOS. This is actually a great Stanford course that they give every year on iOS development. A lot of applications have come from there. Are you looking at
I
me?
think your leg is hitting the mute button here and there.
Oh, is it? Am I disappearing
Yeah.
sometimes? All right.
Lee's got a secret mute button in there.
This is kind of cool.
So this is awesome because
So I'm watching a college course.
it's
on my
more,
big screen.
and you'd feel more
You
like
feel like you're in class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I can, but I control it still from the iPad, so I can jump ahead, I can pause, I can rewind, I can launch another video. All of that is available. You want to learn a little bit more about source code management in Xcode? Because I do.
Are you going to make an app? Are you going to build an app?
I keep thinking I am.
Me too. And then I realize I have no design skills at all.
That's my problem too.
Yeah.
I can write the code.
Yeah.
But it looks really bad.
It will look really
It has,
bad.
you know, a little circle. It's just not good.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't have
So could we have an AirPlay party where I'm watching Stanford's developing apps for iOS and you launch John Waite Missing You?
Yes.
Can we go fight back and forth like, okay, hit it. You play a song now.
Yeah. No,
That's kind of fun.
That's fun.
That would be fun.
I mean, you could do that with an iPhone
Yeah,
too. But
yeah.
yeah, dueling iPads.
Quality is
Impress
excellent.
me. You've
Quality is
got 5
excellent.
minutes.
Now this is playing from, I have this downloaded. so it's playing directly from the iPad. The video.
Okay.
And the quality is very good. Now, that was one of my
yeah,
concerns.
it is really good.
We are sending this via Wi-Fi to the Apple TV, but I think it looks great. So I'm very pleased about that.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So these are just a few of the many
Just a
AirPlay friendly.
portion.
Oh yeah. There are a lot of apps that do even sort of similar to ShowYou that are designed to help you unearth cool videos online and make a little sense of them. But HBO Go that's really big news for a lot of people.
I'm really pleased.
Yeah, it's that much
And if you've
more
never
accessible.
watched Flipboard on a 55-inch TV, you're missing all the fun of.
What do you mean by watch Flipboard? Watch things that
Well, I
are
just want
shared
to point
via
out
Flipboard?
that really the default is now. Oh, this is weird.
Sorry, I took it over. I just wanted to point out that the Twit iPad app also does AirPlay.
Oh, very good point.
Oh, I was like,
I thought, how did that
Sorry,
happen?
couldn't cancel.
Seeing me.
I couldn't
I'm seeing
cancel
me,
so fast
seeing-
enough.
wait.
So the Twit iPad
Who are
app
these
is a
why are
very
they-
good point. This is from our friend Houdini7 in the
I
chat
don't
room, Craig Mullaney, and it's if you look for Shift Key software, it's brand new, right? He's completely updated it, and it's fantastic. So yeah, that's another good point. The Twit iPad app means that you can see Sarah Lane full screen.
God, she's awful, isn't she? Look at this.
She's just, she's just short. It's not her fault.
Well, short people. They're
This
the
is kind of
worst.
cool. We're watching ourselves.
Hey, if I go like, blah, 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 then we'll see
now
that
we're
in like
watching
5
ourselves
minutes.
watching ourselves.
Oh, there we are. One,
That's
two,
what we've
three.
been really wanting.
Meow. This is great. Let's do every show like this and see if people get distracted. So yeah, so HBO Go, it's big news. You've got some AirPlay options, and by the way, if anybody has a really good, this is how I use AirPlay, and you didn't even mention it, do write us at iPadday@twit.tv because we can always throw your feedback into the next show. But for all the links to the apps that we mentioned, if you missed
Yeah.
anything and you forget what Leo said a couple minutes ago, we put all that stuff in our show notes at twit.tv/IPT. That's where you not only get show notes, but you can watch past episodes, you can subscribe to future ones. Everything's there. It is our show archive extraordinaire. So thanks to everybody who watches each week. And if you want to watch live, that's always fun too. 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific is when we sort of start getting rolling here on Thursdays. Leo usually eats lunch for a while, and I kind of sit here and stew.
I'll be honest. What's really going on is I'm playing my Simpsons game, and fortunately,
Yeah, you are being honest. That's what you do. That's exactly what you do.
you can harvest crops on your 55-inch big screen TV.
Now this is mirroring again.
Right, and so you see, notice it's 4:3 because the iPad. That's how you know the difference between
Yeah.
a true AirPlay app and pure mirroring.
Well, and that's
It's not using the whole screen, but it's because it's a 4:3 app.
Yeah.
How would it go widescreen?
how would it go any wider?
Right, there's no data there. So if you don't mind, I'd just like to harvest a little bit. But while I'm doing that,
Yeah.
I probably should mention, I wouldn't use GoToMyPC for harvesting.
I don't think that's what it's most used for.
No, but there are times when you want to go home. Oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. And I try and save, and I got a little Valentine from Lisa.
Oh, isn't
There
that
are
nice?
I love it on the big screen. I never tried that. That's awesome. That's
cool.
fantastic. You could do GoToMyPC up here.
Yeah.
You would see your office computer on a big screen TV. Wouldn't that be cool? Even if it's a Windows machine, Mac or Windows, GoToMyPC is the best remote access out there. It's fluid, it's fast, it's secure, it's easy to install. In fact, you could put it on your office computer right now in just a minute. Just visit GoToMyPC.com, use the offer code iPad, click that orange Try It Free button, and you get 30 days of GoToMyPC. And just type in IPAD right there. And now, all of a sudden, when you go home, you can fire up. I like this. You can use the iPad, the keyboard, the mouse, everything works. This would be a great way to put Windows on your big screen TV. I think this is a great idea. I just thought of this. The apps, by the way, for iPad, iPhone, Android devices are absolutely free. And 30 days free of GoToMyPC. GoToMyPC.com. You know, F and Dunn, it says, and I think this is really a good idea, he brings his Apple TV on the road with him, hooks him up to the hotel TV. Now you can lie in your bed, the magic fingers are on.
And you've got whatever you want.
You've got your screen. They say, oh, hey, we need your PowerPoint slides. No problem. You can send and receive email, run any program, access any network resource right there.
I guess the only thing is if you're in a hotel room where the TV's mounted on the wall, maybe be could be somewhat challenging to get the HDMI cable back there, but that's pretty genius. The Apple TV
I
is
think
so
it's fabulous.
small.
And you don't have to actually bring a laptop with you. You're just using GoToMyPC right here on the iPad, and yet you've got really full PC capabilities from your office. It's also, by the way, on an open network or at a hotel network, you're getting it's SSL back to the office. So it is also a way to safely, securely surf, send email, all of that stuff, because you're encrypted over the open network. So another great reason to use GoToMyPC. GoToMyPC.com. Try it free button. Offer code is iPad.
IPAD. Wonderful little word.
Isn't it great?
Yeah. Love the GoToMyPC guys. Love the Citrix guys.
Yeah.
So have you paid any attention to Slacker Radio in the last few years?
I actually like Slacker and use Slacker a lot.
Do you?
But now all of a sudden it looks so different. What's going on?
Well, Slacker Radio got a bit of an update as far as the iOS apps go, and possibly Android too. I'm not sure, because I pay more attention to the iOS side of things. But Slacker Radio is gunning for a little bit more market share. I think they have about 4 million users, but if you compare that to something like Spotify that has 20 million, Pandora has, I think they say something like 65 million monthly active users.
You know where Slacker's cool is if you have a Ford and Ford Sync, it supports my Ford Touch and Ford Sync and Slacker on your phone. So I like this because it means now Pandora's been there for a while, so Slacker is now catching up with Pandora in this regard. It's kind of, you've got radio stations.
Slacker also says, and if you watch a lot of YouTube, you might end up seeing a Slacker commercial. There's a commercial that the company put out that says, Pandora doesn't have a big enough music library. And Spotify is just like, you end up like spamming all your friends on Facebook. Neither of those are the right solution. Slacker is actually the solution, even though I don't even know if you call them.
Are you a Slacker user?
Well, I know about Slacker. I think the company's been around for about 6 years, so they're not new.
See, they changed it. It was black, now it's white.
Now it's pretty different. What's kind of neat about Slacker is they do have a very large music library. Now, we talked about this on TNT a couple days ago, and I was saying, I really don't feel like I spend a lot of time wishing Pandora had a bigger selection. That's not really a problem I think Pandora has, but Slacker does have a larger music collection. And then they also have agreements with ABC and ESPN, so you can listen to ABC News, for example. That's something that...
there's talk stuff in there.
Yeah, there's talk stuff, and I listen to a lot of talk radio, so I like the idea of that already. I'm not crazy about the layout of this app.
Well, it's a station guide, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women's Life, for example.
That's an ABC.
Content not available for the station. Well, I probably picked a weird one. Top stations. Today's New Country. Why not?
There you go.
Yeah.
So this is like a radio station, sort of, but minus the talk and the ads.
Yeah. And then Slacker also has, I mean, they have like a Pandora model, but then they also have a couple different tiered pricing options. And they say of their, I think it's 4 million users, about 500,000 of those users are paying for at least one of the tiers. I think there's a $4 and a $10. So yeah, it's okay. This is not what I would call the most beautifully designed app, but you like it.
I like it, and again, if you're using a Ford, it works great with Ford Sync, which is a reason to use it. You can control it with your voice. You could say, play my New Country, and it would play it from Slacker. You know what's neat too is if I'm looking at, it's like the aughts rock. I don't know however you'd say that, the rock of the 2000s. The Ozos. Yeah, and it'll give me all of the artists that are part of the station. So Sick Puppies, for example, if I'm like Sick Puppies. See, that's something I'd like Pandora to do, because I do have Mumford & Sons stations, for instance, and I'm not sure, am I going to get the Lumineers as well as Mumford?
Yeah. You can thumbs down, but you don't know ahead of time kind of what's in that collection. So this is nice to see, well, who else am I going to be hearing? Exactly. I can read a little bit more about Sick Puppies and see, what they have some albums. So you should try this instead of Pandora, just to see if you like it. Absolutely, yeah. No, and I think if anybody's using Slacker, or maybe has in the past and forgot about it, this might be a good time to revisit, because the company, they want to get out there. They want to get out there. They want to get in front of you. This app is completely free to hang out and try. So yeah, it's good stuff. Did you watch Tim Cook speaking at the conference? Was it the Goldman Sachs? Well, they had an audio stream, right? I don't think they had a video stream. Right. Although
I feel like I've seen clips. Maybe I've just been reading so much about it that I'm just imagining Tim there in his
Well, maybe there were clips that were
black turtleneck and his blue jeans,
that were
scruffy beard,
yeah, that's Tim, all right.
John Lennon glasses.
Well, you know what's funny is, so yes, Tim Cook was talking at the Goldman Sachs, what do they call it, like Internet Investment Conference or something strange, and that was down in the South Bay. And the same night, he was sitting as Michelle Obama's personal guest.
How did he do that?
At, I think, the gift of flight. He's a bird.
Because he was in Washington, D.C.
He was at the State of the Union,
later.
and there was even, I mean, Apple was written into the speech so that they could take a shot
President
of Tim
Obama
Cook.
said, and this year, Apple Computer will start making a Macintosh here in the United States of America.
Yeah, and they showed Tim, and he kind of goes,
Yep, that's true.
And people clapped. Yeah.
And they showed Ted Nugent, and he
and-
said, "Why am I here?"
And then we all drank because we were doing a State of the Union drinking game.
Yeah. If
we
you
said,
see Tim Cook,
see
you drink?
Tim Cook,
It was a very
drink a lot.
yeah, because you're only going to get the one.
We actually said if every time you see Tim Cook, everyone has to buy an iPod Nano.
Oh, that's good.
And then when it happened, we were like, well, we were just kidding. Let's just drink instead. Not that iPod Nanos are not great.
Anyway,
but
I think
that's
a nice acknowledgement for Apple. Obviously, Apple is doing very well right now and is an important part of the U.S. economy.
Well,
so
and this was, if you know, Wall Street Journal has a good, almost like a transcript, really, of
his speech.
Of the whole speech, yeah. And it was, you know, there were
Did
questions.
he say anything surprising?
Questions and answers. No, because Apple loves to be coy about everything. Yeah. You know, they asked about the opportunity for Apple to acquire more companies. Apple doesn't. I mean, they have a handful of acquisitions here and there, but
he said we've looked at big companies.
Yeah.
But we haven't decided to do it. We couldn't pull the trigger.
Exactly.
He did say something like we buy a new company every other day or something. I mean, they buy a lot of little companies.
Right. It's either under the radar or it's just not something like they bought Spotify or something that's very big. But they also asked, and they're talking about the iPhone. Are we getting to a point in the most important category, iPhone is their big seller, where you've reached a natural limit? And Cook says, there's that word limit. We don't have that in Apple's vocabulary.
Wow.
When I zoom out and look at the smartphone market in particular, what I see is a market that is projected to double in the next few years. This is a huge market. And
there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's in the market where Android is well beyond Apple market share. So tablet market, still Apple's very dominant as far as the tablets being shipped and sold. So I don't know. I like reading this stuff because Steve Jobs was such a larger than life figure, and Tim Cook is still a little bit mysterious to me.
He's a mystery man.
Yeah. And when they asked what are the opportunities for iPad going forward, he says tablet market will be huge opportunity for Apple. It's one of those areas showing software and hardware and services being integrated, creating an experience that is jaw-dropping. He said, if you look at the full year last year, there are more iPads sold than HP sold in its entire PC lineup.
Wow.
Bam! He says there's been a sea change, and we're in the early innings of this game, which, hey, even if it doesn't work out for Apple, that's absolutely true.
And yeah, I would totally agree with that. Absolutely.
Now, when you were on MacBreak Weekly a few weeks ago, I remember you saying, you know, this might be Apple's decline. We're in the beginning of Apple's decline.
Could be.
Yeah.
You're gonna throw that back in my face now.
Yeah, I didn't think you knew I would. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to see what you'd say. But the thing is like I read these sorts of.
Well, I'm honored that you listen to MacBreak Weekly. Thrilled, really.
Well, I love MacBreak Weekly. Those are my people.
I think I don't know. I certainly don't know. But I do think that there are those, and look at the stock price. A lot of them buying stock or not buying stock, selling stock, who think that Apple might have reached its peak. And part of that is, while there is a lot of growth left in the smartphone, and there's a lot of growth left in the tablet market, it's not going to be the rah-rah, viral, doubling every few months growth that we've seen for now. And I think, unfortunately, the way the stock market works, a lot of what they say is, well, what are you going to do for me next?
Yeah.
And that's why this big story about the curved glass Apple iWatch. And in fact, you know, you saw it first. Nick Bilton wrote about it in the New York Times, and then the Wall Street Journal picked it up. But Bloomberg added quite a bit to the story and said that they named 2 executives that are running the team. They said there's 100 people working on this watch. This is not a prototype.
Right.
This sounds like Apple really is. And I think it's coming from Apple's desire to find the next big thing, whether it's something we want or not. And so we'll see. Do people really want to wear Apple iWatches? Will it be as big a category as iPads and iPhones? I find that hard to believe.
Well, the problem I have with wearable computing is that I just lose interest. But then again, there's, you know, with the case of the jawbone.
You lose interest on everything.
So do you.
So do I.
Yeah.
That's our best feature.
That's what
we're easily bored.
we try everything and then we let it all go.
You were wearing, as I was, the Nike Fuel Band. Boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it bricked, so I just didn't get another one.
You didn't buy a new one.
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing happened with my
works.
jawbone. If Apple can provide me a service where I've got something on my wrist that is giving me constant information that I want and it doesn't break, hey, maybe they'll be onto something because I haven't found that yet.
I bid for the Pebble.
Uh-huh.
Should be coming soon. I got a red Pebble watch. This is the watch that ties to your iPhone or your Android phone.
I saw one the other night in the wild.
They're pretty. No? You think they're thick?
I wasn't crazy about the display. It was a little bit like
e-paper display.
I felt it was the design of it.
Yeah.
I felt it seemed a little my old Nokia phone
they have
UI
different, you know, they have
type
different
thing.
displays.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Oh good. Because I wasn't
even
crazy about
upload
this
them.
one. Oh good. Oh,
And
okay.
they have one that says it's, you know, 2:15 or it's 3-ish.
Yeah.
They have a lot of different kinds of.
Oh, good.
So yeah, that's the beauty of the e-paper. It's not e-ink, by the way. It's e-paper, but that's the beauty of it is that it's really just a computer display, so you could change it.
Oh perfect.
Yeah.
Well good.
So you're not stuck with that.
Good to know.
But it is a little bigger, a little thicker, as
Yeah.
you would expect with the electronics in it.
It was-
Some people have said complain about the battery life, but it's more than a day. It's several days. To me, that's better than I would expect. Mm-hmm. You know,
You just have to get in the habit of charging it at night or
every
whatever.
night. We're
Yeah.
used to plugging in our iPad and our iPhone every night. So.
There was a neat blog post I came across this morning by a fellow named Scott Hanselman.
I love Scott.
Okay.
I read his blog religiously, and I think he is so right on with this.
Oh my gosh, I would be mad too. So he wrote this article.
And I'm seeing more apps do this, by the way.
It's very annoying.
Yeah.
The title of his blog post is,
websites.
I'd like to use the web my way, thank you very much, Quora. And he went on to say he was browsing Quora on his iPhone, but it would be the same thing on the iPad, basically mobile Safari. And he said, well, anyway, he said he was reading in the bathroom. But he said, you know, a lot of people do that, you know, that's where you read. And he said, a link to an interesting Q&A on Quora came along. And Quora is a bit of a question-answer social network we've talked about in the past.
With some great answers. I mean, it's really can be very interesting reading.
Right, and Chad, I don't know if you've got this up there. Yeah, but he said, I came across this. You need the app to read all the answers, and then an arrow that says View in App. And he notes, yes, this is something that iOS 6 allows services to, you know, it's just a little bit of code that you can have in there to basically...
But let's make this clear. He's reading in Safari on his iPhone.
Right.
And it says, Quora, the web page says, sorry, you can only read one answer.
Yeah.
In Safari on the iPhone. You should install the app where you can read more.
Exactly. So they've taken it a step further.
They're locking you out.
Apple has provided a service that says, here's a little thing that you can have maybe at the top of your page that encourages people to download the app. Quora said, we're going to go ahead and say, no, you've only gotten a taste unless you download this content.
This is infuriating.
And it's a free app. So what is the deal?
They want to control it. But this is what really I don't like about the app economy. It's kind of the walled garden. Virginia Heffernan of the New York Times said it's the gated community of the net where it's safe because you're inside of apps, but you're in a gated community. We want our web browsers to work on our mobile devices, I do anyway, the same way they work on a desktop. You should be able to browse. You should be able to see websites. And it's very offensive, and I agree with Scott 100%, very offensive for a website to say, sorry, you can't read this website in your browser on your iPhone. You must install the app. You see a lot of pages encouraging you.
Sure.
They take over.
And that's annoying.
I find that very annoying.
It's very annoying. And, you know, if I say no once, I never want to see that again. I don't really want to see that splash page in the first place.
To say,
but
sorry,
to make
you can only read one. You know, and what he did, and I think everybody will do this, is say, okay, see you, Quora, I'll go somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. It's not as if Quora is saying, you know, we've decided to migrate our web experience into an iOS experience, so there just aren't Quora web pages anymore. That's not true at all. They're perfectly fine on the web. It's just for whatever reason, the company says, if you're on a mobile device, we want you to use the app or nothing at all. And what does it matter as long as you're using the service?
He says sites like Quora are trying to have their cake and eat it too. They want Google, they want to be on the web so that Google will index them, so that you could do a search that will surface a Q&A at Quora.
Yeah.
But, so now you found it, now it's in your Safari, but they also want you, and now they make you to install the app so that they have complete control of the experience. And presumably that's so they can show you ads and things like that.
I guess so, eventually. Right. It's very, very annoying. That's
awful.
Shame on Quora.
Awful.
And any other site that does this. And by the way, if anyone knows of other services, if you've seen this with other apps, do let me know, because I have not seen this yet. This is the first that I've heard of it. What are you laughing at?
Well, yeah, the way he says this at the end, he plays the little bit from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory where Gene Wilder goes, "Good day, sir."
Good day, sir. I love that. Et cetera, et cetera.
Good day, sir.
And then Charlie wins because he gave him back the everlasting gobstopper.
He's a good boy, Charlie.
My boy.
I'm not sure I'd want to go in an elevator that bursts through the ceiling
No,
and goes into space.
In fact, sometimes when I'm in an elevator and it's going sort of
feel like it
fast,
could
I'm
be?
like, it's gonna be like the
Yeah.
Willy Wonka thing.
Yeah.
I
I really think
don't
Willy
wanna
Wonka was
fly.
kind of crazy, and I'm not sure I really trust the man fully. But that's
He
me.
seems like he'd be exhausting.
It's certainly that.
You know, in the Chocolate
So does
Factory.
Gene
and
Wilder, by the way.
Everything, yeah. Great movie. If you haven't
Exhausting.
seen that for any reason, you really should.
We've just spoiled it for you.
We pretty much spoiled the ending.
Yeah.
Whoops. Joe Sperino from Massachusetts has a bit of a question, and I don't know if we have an answer. He says, I'm still happily using my iPad 1. I've been a viewer since episode 1. Thank you. I've never updated my iPad to iOS 6 since I don't have the hardware to really take advantage. But my frustration is, once in a while, an app developer will come out with a 6.0 only update. My iPad is smart enough not to install it, but then that just sits there in the update section forever. He says,
Right.
Ted is a current culprit. Ted is still working fine for me on my iPad. Is there a way to delete the update from the update section? He's probably got these little hovering numbers.
It says
and wants
there's
to
an
cancel
update
out.
for you, and you can't install it because you're not using the
Right.
latest iOS.
I don't know how you get rid of that
Yeah, I don't
without
think you
getting rid of the
can.
app, because he's saying there are apps that they're fine. I just can't update them.
That's frustrating.
It is frustrating. If anyone knows,
I don't think there's a way to block an update. Obviously, uninstalling the app would do it, but then you wouldn't have
if
any
you've
app.
got something that
Right.
that you're using and,
And in
you're
fact,
happy
you
with,
don't want to do that because you won't be able to get the old iOS version of the
exactly.
tab,
Then you're really screwed.
so. There might be good reason. Now, somebody's saying, "Oh, get a new iPad." There might be good reason not to go to iOS 6.1. There have been two major flaws in it already. You probably heard about one that caused problems with Microsoft. And it broke Exchange.
Yes.
In fact, Microsoft and some companies were saying we will block iOS 6.1 devices on our network because it breaks Exchange. It keeps hitting the Exchange server. And then if you use an iPhone, oopsies. Remember the bug on the iPhone where you had the lock screen on, and if you made an emergency call and you tapped some buttons right, you'd break right into the iPhone? It's back. They fixed it in 4.2 iOS. It's back in iOS 6.1. So be very careful where you leave your iPhone if you've upgraded to iOS 6.1, because it's very easy to break into it and access
And Apple
anything in
says
there.
they're working on a fix.
Of course, they'll
but-
push out a fix, but for right now, it's a problem.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's
So even if you're not
You've got
forced to
stuff
use
to hide.
older versions because you have an older iPad, it might be a good reason not to upgrade to 6.1.
maybe. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
6.1.1. Let's wait.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's exactly right.
Now, somebody said in the chat room, YYZ said, I'm surprised that it shows the updates available on his iPad 1 since it knows it can't go there. I don't think that the App Store is that smart. If you have an older app on there, it sees it, says that's an old version.
App Store said it's like a naming convention. Like, we've got a match.
Right.
Then you get to the point where it's ready, and then the iPad goes, oh, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And so it just sits
It
there.
would be a nice little feature. Now, by the way, Just Duet does say if you jailbreak it,
That's different.
there is a update hider app
Oh,
that you
really?
can install, and you won't see those updates anymore.
Huh.
And there is a very nice maybe I should do the jailbreak, because there's a new one, Evasion, for 6.1 that people are raving about. It's very easy.
Many downloads.
I don't it's the most downloaded jailbreak in history. I don't do jailbreaks because I just want the clean, plain interface, and I haven't seen very many apps on the Cydia store or anywhere that I must have. This might be one that be worth jailbreaking.
We haven't talked about jailbreaking in a long time.
Right.
I don't feel like we have a huge demand, at least from the audience that is vocalizing what they want, you know, in emails and tweets to us. But I think it'd be worth it. You know, just kind of let people know what their options are.
It's very easy to do. The biggest thing for me that is a downside is now I can't do iOS updates until I kind of unjailbreak it or return it.
Right.
Evasion, if you want to try it, is just spelled the way it sounds, except there's a zero instead of an O. EVASI 0N.
Evasion.
Evasion.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need Mac OS 10 or Windows. It works for iOS 6 or 6.1. It works with all iPhone, iPod Touch, iPad, and iPad mini models running iOS 6.0 and 6.1.
You know, by the way, for anybody who was excited for us to talk about wine apps this week, we said last week that we were going to talk about wine apps. And then HBO Go became Airplay-enabled, and I got all excited, and so we'll do that next week.
So no whining.
No whining. There's no whining in baseball. So, Leo, what are you listening to audiobook-wise these days?
I am listening to Patrick Rothfuss's Kingkiller Chronicles.
Kingkiller Chronicles.
The Kingkiller. Well, we talked about The Name of the Wind, which is book 1. Book 2, which has another name, and I don't really remember.
Wise Man's Fear.
Isn't that a strange name, The Wise Man's Fear?
I just finished Name of the Wind last night.
Oh, you got to go to The Wise Man's Fear, because it just continues right on.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I finally figured it out. It's Harry Potter for grown-ups. Because
grown-ups like Harry Potter.
It's about a character named Kavolt.
Yeah.
And he is attending a school called the Arcanum.
Yeah.
For magic. But it's a university-level school, so it's kind of more adult adventures. It's great. It's just wonderful. So I highly recommend it. And where do you get this? You might ask me. Well, you get it on Audible.com. I am a big fan of Audible. You know what I would love to do? Let's just see. I'm going to see if I can change the TV over to our Apple TV, and I'm going to launch the Audible app, but I'm going to put this, I wonder what will happen, because it's an iPhone app. If I turn on mirroring on her, I wonder, can I see the Audible app? I can on the big screen TV. Look at that. Isn't that cool?
You can also play audio through it,
Can
so
I?
you could have audio throughout the entire, you know, if you're in your living
home
room.
stereo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What a great idea. Let me just turn up the volume here. And we can listen to David Sedaris, Me Talk. Have you read any of David Sedaris' stuff?
That's one of the funniest books I've ever read.
You laugh out loud funny.
It's hysterical.
I bought on Audible the David Sedaris collection. It was all his books. He reads them. You might have heard him on This American Life. Often he does essays on there. Very funny essayist. But let me go back a little bit. Since you were asking me about what I've been listening to, I'm just going to refresh my library here. This is one of the great things about Audible.com. Is you can see everything that you have ever downloaded. I've been an Audible member since the year 2000, so there's
You have hundreds.
500 books on here.
And they're all like you can listen to
It's
them.
like they're on my bookshelf.
Yeah.
I own them. I could say, oh, gosh, I would like to listen to Wuthering Heights again by Anne Browning. I just press the download button, and it's going to be on my iPad. I can listen in the app or through the iTunes store, so you can do anything you could do with an iPad or an iPhone or an iPod or iPod Touch. So many great books. There's the Steve Jobs biography. If you haven't read that, that's a must-read if you're an iPad fan. Here's the deal. We're going to give you a book free. The hard part is choosing. There are 100,000 books in the Audible store at audible.com. Some great science fiction. I'm just finishing, I'm actually just starting a new Peter F. Hamilton novel that he just put up there. It's kind of a sci-fi mystery thriller called Great North Road. 36 hours, 5 parts. This is a nice long book.
Whoa.
And one of the reasons I like long books on Audible, if you've got a long commute or you spend time, I spend an hour a day working out, you spend time walking the dog, you can end up reading 2 or 3 hours a day, time that you wouldn't have normally been doing anything. And suddenly, books like this, a 36-hour book, it's about this thick in the hardcover, no problem. A month later, I've read that book, what's next? So it's just a really great way to bring literature back in your life. Fiction, nonfiction, mystery, thrillers, a great selection of science fiction. I'm going to read The Hunger Games. I finally saw the movie. I've been putting it off till I read the book. I never got around to reading the book. The movie was okay. I hear the book is even better. So I can't wait to read the book.
Yeah, very popular.
Wise Man's Fear. I'm kind of in the middle of that right now. Many good choices. Here's the deal. Go to audiblepodcast.com/iPad today. You'll sign up for the gold account. This is the one you want. It's a book a month subscription. So it's the most affordable way to get Audible books on your iPad. And your first month's free. Your first book is free. You can cancel anytime in the first 30 days and pay nothing. But the book's yours to keep forever. I don't think you're going to ever want to cancel. How long? 13 years now I've been a member at audible.com. And frankly, I would be devastated if I weren't a member. Audible is just worth that to me. Audiblepodcast.com/iPad today. I love it, and I know you will too, so give it a try today. Yeah, the Wise Man's Fear. So are you listening to it, Chad, or are you actually...
So I haven't started yet because literally last night I finished the last seconds of the audiobook. Yeah. Absolutely. And right before I went to bed.
Who reads it is really good.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing, you get hooked on these people's voices.
I did that. I went and searched just for books that he had read.
More Nick Podell stuff.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. Pete Townshend's autobiography, Who I Am. He reads it himself. Some great stuff. Audiblepodcast.com/iPad today. Don't get me started.
I have some questions for Pete Townsend.
Like? Who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope he answers those questions. Hey, so we talked a little bit about some Siri uses for Siri last week.
Siri tips.
Somebody asked us, what is Siri really great for? And I had some. I
didn't have great stuff. I showed you the NF. You could say,
we both pretty much said we use Siri here and there for specific things, but we definitely got some good feedback. Dom said, and this is actually something that, I always saw the little I button, but I never really explored it.
The little I button?
The little I button. So if you're
just
kind of on your homepage and you activate Siri.
Yeah, there's
a little information button.
It's not an I.
Yes, it is. It's a little I.
I thought you meant eyeball.
Yeah, no, it's a little
I.
The
letter I, yeah.
And if you go ahead and click this.
That gives you some ideas.
It gives you some ideas. Now, it's got so you could FaceTime, you can launch photos, you can message somebody, you can ask a question about sports, that sort of thing. But even... let's say, okay, I'm interested in the different options I would have in the Reminders app. I use my Reminders app religiously. That's where all my stuff goes. Remind me to call mom. Now, if I click into that, then Siri will also give me examples of how I could phrase this. So it's
This is important because the syntax is it took me a while to learn this syntax.
Yeah.
Like add artichokes to my grocery list. You can't say, add to my grocery list artichokes. You can't. You have to say it just right.
Yeah.
And so it is important to know what that syntax is. I do that though. I use it for a grocery list. You're the one who taught me to do that.
Did I?
Well, I was talking about Grocery IQ and other apps, and you said you don't use reminders. I said, well, what do you mean? And you showed me how to do it, and I said, that's so much easier because you can tie a geographic tag to it. So when I walk into Petaluma Market here, it says, oh, don't forget, you need to buy this, and this.
You need the cake mix for the Valentine. Yeah, no, this is actually really helpful. How many different ways can you ask Siri about the weather? Well, several, actually.
Some things it's more flexible.
Yeah, so this is something that if you find yourself not using Siri at all, it's probably worth reading through some of your options to just get a sense of, oh yeah, that's actually a question I would want to ask Siri.
That's a great tip. That I is of value there.
It is, and gosh, it's like I don't know if I've ever clicked through it. So thank you, Dom. Hopefully you've helped some other people as well. Good tip. We also got an email from...
F and Dunn says, as an example, Siri, remind me when I'm here next time to pick up cake batter. If you say that in the grocery store...
Right, then it knows.
It will know. Oh, okay, now you're setting a reminder for this locale.
For here.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Good point, F and Dunn.
Yeah,
that's really good.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude. Eric also has, he says, this is... another Siri tip. He says, I prefer to use Siri when setting reminders and events on my calendar because you can put so much information in quickly, where when I bring up my calendar manually...
it is slow.
I have to tell it what the event is, and then when it is, and what time it is. You can tell Siri all of that information, and it's clever about it. The biggest reason I still use the default calendar on the iPad is because of being able to use it with Siri. That's another point, too, is that Siri will, when you're talking about calendar items or reminders, it's working with the stock apps in iOS. It's not going to be working with your Fantastical or your Agenda calendar.
That kind of bums me out.
Well, they sync.
They used to do that.
They sync with the original app, so it's not as if you can't get that information there elsewhere, but it is talking to.
You can't send it specifically to some third-party app.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of effing done, you've been busy this week. Also sent us a voicemail with another Siri tip.
Great.
Hey, Sarah and Leo, it's Evan Dunn from the chat room. Hey, I was listening to your episode about Siri hints and tips, and there's one search feature I found out with Siri that's really cool, and a lot of people don't realize it. You can ask Siri to search your email for all incoming emails from a specific person, from a specific day.
I had no idea.
For example, you can say, Siri, show me all emails from Leo Laporte. And it'll show you all your emails from Leo Laporte. So it'll actually search your email inbox and find the results you're asking for. Obviously, you have to be using the stock Apple Mail app.
Yeah.
But pretty cool feature and pretty cool tip. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Jason.
That is a great tip.
Jason Cleats.
That's your name is Jason? Sometimes whoa.
Oh, sorry.
What's happening?
I have to turn the volume down on the TV set.
Oh. Bizarre world.
I had turned it off. I was setting it back to our lovely iPad Today logo.
Oh.
Let's turn the volume off.
We also got another, this is not a Siri tip. This is just a question from one of our esteemed viewers who's just not sure whether to mini or not mini.
Guys, you know what? I checked out Gazelle and I ended up selling my iPad 3. And then I was looking at, I was just like, man, I want a smaller tablet. But then I looked at the iPad mini and I was just like, they don't have the Retina display.
Yeah.
So do you think, as a fan of the iPad, should we just hold out and later we will get the mini tablet that we want? Or do you think we should just go with the alternatives? I did end up ordering a Galaxy Tab just to try it out. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye. I think we're getting into a weird part of the year where it's like
we're close enough that there could be an iPad coming out.
There could be, but I don't think. I don't think we're going to see mini Retina in March, which is
September.
Historically an iPad month.
I'm not even convinced we'll see it in September, but if we see it, it won't be till this September.
Yeah. But do you think that's still close enough?
Well, I mean, our caller has to decide because there's always another iPad. There's always, and each iPad is a little bit better than the previous one. Apple kind of threw us a curve. It used to be every year. This year, it was 7 months apart. And so I understand why people are going, maybe there'll be a new iPad mini in a couple of months. I think there's two questions here. When will a new mini come out? And I think it's the fall. Will it be
is that
Retina?
Close enough? I think it will be.
Okay. Then should I wait? And I'd say no. It's $399 base price. Get the mini, even if you only have 8 months with it. I think it's worth it. I love the mini, and while I wasn't happy that, and remember I was very critical of Apple for not making it Retina, I think it's fine. I don't at any point say, gee, I wish this were Retina anymore. I think I like it.
I've talked a lot about how I like my original iPad so much that the iPad mini, while nice, is not something that has replaced my iPad experience.
Man, I love the mini.
Well, so what I did, I was like, what is wrong with me? Everybody else likes their minis so much. So what I have is my iPad mini stays on my nightstand. And I've got my little charger there, and so it's like I get into bed, I'm kind of ready to do some reading. And that's really a great time for the mini for me because I'm kind of tired and
it's small.
And I always talk about how this is not really that heavy or hard to hold.
It's heavier.
But it is. Once you get used to the mini, especially when you're reclining, I've started to really like it. So
I use the mini all the
around.
time. I'm using it, when I watch TV, I have it in my lap. I carry it around. I mean, I keep the iPad 3 here for the show because we want a little bit bigger display for display here on the show.
But your mini is
the one I use.
your iPad of choice.
I don't miss it. In fact, it's funny, once you use the mini exclusively, the iPad 3 or 4 seems awfully big. I don't really feel the need for it. In fact, I'm so much so that you won't appreciate this, but some might. On Windows Weekly, I was telling Paul Thurrott.
How do you know I won't appreciate it?
Because you're all Apple.
Oh, come on.
I told Paul Thurrott I want a Windows 8 mini. There was the Microsoft CFO was speaking at this conference, the Goldman Sachs conference. I think it was Goldman Sachs, might have been All Things D. They're all going on at the same time. And he said, we're looking at all sizes for Windows 8, from 4 inches to bigger. And the implication is maybe there'll be a Windows 8 Mini.
Like a Surface Mini.
A Surface Mini with perhaps with phone built in. It could be the next Windows Phone. And I like that. I've been lobbying for Apple to do a mini phone. If Microsoft does it first, you might have to get somebody else on this show.
When you say... Gladly. No, when you say...
Oh! Burn!
Just kidding. Are you kidding?
I set myself up for that one.
We're on episode 136, and we're not stopping anytime soon. Well, you threaten, and I'll just bite back.
No, I know. You're very...
No, you're not going anywhere. So... If there is a, when you say mini phone, you mean an iPod mini that's also a phone?
It would actually be a dynamic phone.
It would be a phablet.
It would be a phablet.
Yeah.
It would be the biggest phone ever. But I just want to carry one thing. I don't care if it's that big, that I could do everything.
I think you do. I think you do care.
I might.
Also, your iPad mini can do, IP.
TV.
And
you mean
and
Skype?
Voice. Yeah. It's not as if it's not a phone.
And I have to admit, I have not made a call, not one, with my iPad Mini. So
all right.
Maybe I don't.
Maybe you don't care.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in any case, thanks for all the Siri tips, by the way, and thanks for the provocative questions, especially the voicemails. Got a lot of good voicemails this week.
And Sarah Lane, thank you for the spanking.
Oh, you're welcome. Didn't know I did that. I'm blacking out a lot lately. Wow. Interesting.
You want to see the handprint?
Nope.
Okay.
I believe you. Oh, I see. The virtual spanking. Oh, yeah. Are we going to do this now? Now you're mad because I suggested that perhaps I didn't need you on the show? Okay. Now we're in moods. Everybody's in a mood. Got it. Chad...
You don't have me. Who's going to do the commercials?
Chad was a very good co-host
he
the
did
week
a great
that I was
job.
gone. I'm the one who should be worried.
No, you and Chad would be a much better show. Get rid of the old guy.
Oh, the old
I'll sue, though, for age discrimination.
Good. You should.
Yeah,
you are the HR department, which is a bad idea. I mean, let's be honest. You can do pretty much whatever you want. It's your company. It's beautiful. Hey, so we love hearing from everybody. You can write us at iPadtoday@twit.tv. Poor Leo. You can leave a message on our Google Voice mailbox at 757-504-IPAD. That's 757-504-4723. Or you can send us a video, upload it somewhere, and send us the link. We love getting your videos. If you keep them to 30 seconds or less, that's usually a sweet spot where we can add them into the show.
Yeah, they got to be short.
Thanks in advance.
I did it again.
What?
I installed another XPrint server. I got them everywhere.
How many is it now?
I don't know. It's probably half a dozen. They're only $99, and they're great. So the XPrint server, just this little box, and you plug it into your network, and then if you have a USB printer, it's really great for that, or any make or model of printer that doesn't support Apple's AirPrint, it turns any printer into an AirPrint printer. That means you print to it directly from your iOS device, your iPhone or your iPad, right from the regular print menu. You don't need special apps. You don't need special configuration. You don't need anything, really, except for the Lantronix XPrint server. This thing is so cool. At first I thought, it's just a way to turn a USB printer into a network printer. And if that were all it did, that'd be plenty. But it means it's an AirPrint server, so you can print to it from your iPad. It also takes any network printer and turns it into an AirPrint server. So suddenly, all your printers are compatible with your iOS devices. All of them can be printed to from the network. Just fantastic. $99 for the home version. That's up to 8 USB printers and up to 2 network printers. For most homes, that's more than enough. But if you're in an area, an office or a school where there's lots of network printers and you want them all to work with iOS, they have a special network version of this for $199 that has unlimited network printers as well as 8 USB printers and also supports network directories and things like that. This is I read it a couple of weeks ago, an email from a school IT person who said she installed this at the school, and all of a sudden all these printers in the school were available and working. You don't need to download anything, you don't need to install anything, you just plug this in and it works. All right, we got a special offer code for you if you visit xprintserver.com/twit, xprintserver.com/twit. You'll get free shipping when you get the XPrint server. So now, as it says on the webpage, it actually prints when you select print from your iOS device. There's nothing more frustrating. You're looking at a webpage and you say print.
Oh, I know people who are like, it's just, you can't do that. You can't print from an
Apple's
iPad.
just teasing us.
Yeah.
They put it there.
You need something special.
It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And there's apps you can download and stuff. Believe me,
That's
before
not fun.
AirPrint came out, we looked at a lot of apps. Before the XPrint Server came out, we looked at a lot of apps. Now, this is the only way to fly. XPrintServer.com/twit. Everywhere I go, I'm like Johnny XPrint Server. I install XPrint servers everywhere I go. You know what else I do everywhere I go?
Where? What?
Buy hats.
Yeah, no
You know
kidding.
why I do that?
On the good ship, iPad show.
That's actually a Coast Guard Chief Petty Officer hat.
Really?
You are now in the Guard. And I got
It's
this
for
hat
someone with a much larger head than
in
me.
New Orleans.
What? Did you wear it? Did it rain?
No, this is actually, I did get it in New Orleans. It came with this hat, which is a beautiful Homburg.
Oh, that's very nice.
Look at that.
Oh, that's lovely.
I need a little Godfather coat to wear with this. Isn't that beautiful?
It's beautiful. So that, like, is that for what?
This is just a liner.
Oh, okay. I thought it
actually
came with an
hat-shaped.
umbrella, a hat umbrella.
Well, you could.
Kind of.
I think it's for shipping.
Yeah. I
don't think Sam would like that. I went to this. Next time you're in New Orleans, I have a new best friend, Sam Meyer the Hatter, the South's oldest hat shop.
Ooh.
He's been there since 1946. He came out of the Army in World War II, started selling hats there. His grandfather before him, he has a little badge. It says, "Hi, I'm Sam Meyer, third generation hatter." And I have never, you know me, I love hats.
Yes.
I have the biggest hat collection.
I mean, that's why we wear hats on the show, because I knew that with
We'd never run out.
We'd actually have a lot of hats.
Was a gift. If you read the inside, it was a gift from a Coast Guard officer. Doesn't it say his name in there?
Please return this Bernard cap to.
It doesn't say. Maybe he didn't put his name in there. Anyway, he knows who he is. Thank you. But he actually, he was a chief petty officer in the Coast Guard, and he got me that hat.
It's great.
They have a name for it.
I love it.
There's like a name, like a lid.
It's just very big.
It's a little big. It's a little
Having
big.
a little bit. Whoa.
Come watch. Let me put it on. You see how big it is on me.
It's probably tight.
It's so huge. It really is too big for me.
Wow. Let me try this.
Yeah, you should wear the Homburg.
Yeah.
Isn't that good?
I'm into it.
That looks good on you. Mm-hmm. I got Lisa a girl's top hat that's very cute.
Yeah?
Yeah, hat. I couldn't stop buying hats. I kind of have a problem.
Yeah, you do. You kind of have a
hat problem. Anyway, we wear these to signify that this is our award.
Right. Each week, Leo and I crown an App Cap Award winner.
Yeah.
These being the caps.
You look cute in that.
Thank you.
I can't decide
feel
whether
cute.
I like you better as a Coast Guard chief or a
This is more my
Godfather.
thing.
You like that?
Yeah,
All right.
I can't be in charge of a boat. Let's be honest. Just a better passenger all around.
You're in a Johnny cab. But I do like that. That's cute on you.
Thank you. You're sweet. My app cap of the week is DrawQuest. No, you mentioned from Moot, Christopher Poole, who is the guy who started 4chan. Now 4chan is not
I didn't
known
know
as.
he was a programmer.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah.
4chan is a little.
4chan is 4chan. Like, you probably are familiar with it.
It's a forum where anything goes.
It's kind of I guess you call it an image gallery community.
And some of it's very normal, and some of it's not.
Some of it is a little deviant. So
I wouldn't say that.
No. Okay.
Because I don't want to be 4chan'd.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Whatever. 4chan is a place for.
I like him.
Yeah, I actually.
But you like Moot. I didn't know he was cute.
He's cute. He's really cute. He's a cute guy in real life. Actually, I don't go
you met
to
him?
all of the 4chan boards, but I do go to some of them, and I find them to be very entertaining.
Yeah. So what did Moot do?
Moot did something not at all like 4chan.
Well, he's kind of cute.
Yeah. God, all of a sudden he looks like Chad, and I feel weird.
He looks just like Chad if he had red hair.
Good grief.
I actually met him at South by one year.
Did you say I am you and you are me and we are all together?
We just looked at each other and went, whoa.
Moot. I think we should call Chad Choot.
Shoot. Okay, so he has a new app called DrawQuest, which is nothing like 4chan at all. In fact, it kind of looks like a little kid's app, but it's fun. So the idea is that I have these little, not challenging little quests that I can choose to participate in. So I've done a couple quests so far.
So draw your Valentine.
So who's your Valentine? I say, okay, I can earn 5 coins by drawing. I'll.
So it's like It's like OMG Pop.
Well, it's not. It's no one's trying to like guess what I'm doing.
But it's not. Yeah, it's not. Okay, it's like not like. Which is a good thing. Because that's very strange.
Yeah.
Okay, and now you're giving me red hair.
Well,
okay.
no, you're my Valentine, right? So I say,
sweetheart.
done. Okay.
So it's kind of like draw something, except nobody's trying to guess it.
Right, but here's what's cool. So I go ahead and publish my drawing. This is not good. I'm not proud of this. This was just for the purposes of demonstration. Did something real quick. So that's my drawing. Now, what's kind of interesting is that I could go ahead and play back what I did. That's not so interesting for me, but it might be interesting for someone else who wants to see what my progress was. Okay, so that's that. But then I can, how do I get back here? I want to look at everybody else's. There's my Valentine, draw that.
You're pretty much stuck there for the rest of your life.
No, I'm not.
Oh, people are already commenting on it.
No, that's
so
just
people
me.
but people can comment on it. It's like Instagram for drawings, is it?
Let's go back to the Valentine.
So these are other people's answers to that
Oh,
question.
view gallery. Duh.
There you go. All right. You're number one in that gallery.
Well, maybe I'm the first one who did it. Is that
That
right?
seems impossible.
So
Highly unlikely.
Well, shoot. All right.
Have you ever used this app? There we go.
So here, okay. So this is
this is how to do it.
well, no, but these are a variety of people who have participated in a different quest.
Which was give him a cool hairstyle.
Right. So it starts off with this little character, and then you can kind of look through what people have done.
Good. Good.
Great.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute. I mean, how did Gigi mom do this? These are.
Oh, you can watch the playback.
Yeah, you can watch the playback. These are obviously really simple quests. A lot of these, you sort of be like, would you really want to watch this playback? Not necessarily. I'm kind of just showing what's in front of me right now. But the idea is that you've got these little creative quests that you participate in.
This is kind of inspired by 4chan because isn't 4chan a lot of times they have Photoshop contests and things like that?
Yeah, and you're actually building off of, the Mixel. Remember Mixel? Mm-hmm. Mixel had a little bit of this going on, even though that company has sort of pivoted into something else. Or actually, who bought Mixel? Was it Apple?
Yeah, they did something completely different.
Mixel. Yeah. So there are recent quests. There's today's quest. I'm not really sure why I can't look at the gallery of
maybe
today's quests.
Maybe the next day. It seemed
No.
It's not possible you're the only one who did that.
I would think. Well, because if I look at my quests in my profile, I've participated.
Who the hell is that?
What do you mean?
Is that your profile picture?
Yeah, it's a long story, but there's a.
Did you do that one too?
Yes, I did, because I was supposed to give him a smile. There was just a little couple of eyes.
Make him smile. Give him a smile. I get it. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what's wrong with me. Now I can't remember how I looked at everybody else's because I did this earlier. There were all these smiles. What do you think? I think this is cute.
You like to draw, even though you're terrible.
I am. In fact, my bio says I'm a terrible artist.
Yeah.
And it's true. I'm not good.
But it's fun. I guess it's the same reason Pictionary is popular. People like doing stick figures. Mm-hmm. I would like to be a better artist, a better drawer. So maybe this, the more you draw, the better you get, right? Although you don't seem to have improved at all.
No, I'm not very good. But
Are you not logged in?
No, I
very
thought
great
I was.
mystery.
Done. Yes.
Yes, you are done.
Publish your drawing.
Nice questing.
Yeah. Upload.
Did you? You didn't do that last time. You didn't publish it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't remember this part.
Okay.
So now you're in a gallery.
So now I'm the idiot that just put this up online.
Oh, there's the other one.
No, I think I'm the only person who wants to draw Valentines. You know what? I wash my hands of this. Thanks for nothing, DrawQuest.
You think that was bad? Wait till you see my app, Kat. So I showed you before.
You did not have a whole lot of time to practice with this. I
came to the show today.
Totally unprepared.
Bereft, as you probably gathered.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that. I was torn. I had a lot of different possible choices. I've been playing with, because I like The Simpsons Tapped Out so much, I've been playing with alternate versions. Pixel People, which is an 8-bit version. Everybody in the chat room loves it. I'm not crazy about it. A couple of Sims adventures. But you suggested, and I think you're absolutely right, this is a great choice, because I had mentioned many moons ago a program from Autodesk called 123 Catch, which actually Alex Lindsay turned me onto, which is still very cool. It's free, and you take pictures of somebody, a lot of pictures all the way around them, and it creates a 3D model. This is called 123D Creature, and it's a little different. Also not free. It's $1.99. but you're going to have a lot of fun with it. And I think kids are going to have a lot of fun with it because it allows you to create 3D renderings of creatures. In order to improve this app, yeah, go ahead, turn on analytics. So this is I should probably go back a little bit in time and create a new creature. Let's just show you. I did this, okay, and I'm still working on it a little bit. So, and I'm at the end where you would render it and so forth. You can get it printed, so I can get a 3D print service that will actually give me a physical object.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of...
What's the material, I wonder?
It just says a physical sculpture. Oh, sandstone-like material.
Wow.
And it also does all the paint and stuff that you do. So that's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
So that's through a company called Sculptio. So let's go back to my project, and we'll start a new project instead of starting with one that's already done. So this is, you get a basic kind of humanoid creature, and now you have some different tools. And by the way, they have an excellent tutorial and walkthrough, which of course I completely ignored. So for instance, I can now drag out the limbs a little bit, maybe drag these out. It's kind of turning into reindeer antler. Now this is just the beginning. Notice, by the way, it's big on bipedal symmetry. I guess that's why it's always a creature, right? I can also drag a joint around to reposition it. But notice everything you do gets echoed in the other, so that it always stays symmetric. I can drag up and down an area to thicken it. So I can say, let's take this area. Did I do it right? Yeah. And drag it out. Some of it I found a little bit. There we go. Did you see that now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's not, I don't know. This is an iPad 3. Maybe this would be a little more responsive on an iPad 4, but I find it sometimes, just as you just saw, you have to kind of do it a little bit before it really does what you wanted to do. That's a minor thing, and I think what you'll find is a kid's going to really have a great time playing with this. We can create different poses, add another limb and so forth, drag to scale limbs, so I can say, let's make this a little bit bigger. All right, now I've created an object of some strange
that's not so much a creature, it's more of like a geometric.
Now, I'm now cooking it.
Okay.
So you have to go through this process where you bake it. This actually is going to take us a little while. Spraying biogel, they're just saying silly things. Well, what they're really doing is taking a 3D design and rendering it. And then after that, I'll be able to paint it, add textures, play with it a little bit. And then the final step is I can actually get it printed out and they'll mail it to me.
That's really cool. I love that.
It's
especially if the material is nice enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, somebody in the chat room says it's like Play-Doh for the 21st century generation. I think a lot of kids play in digital forms now. In fact, maybe too many kids play games all the time. Michael, Lisa's son, is big into Minecraft, and for him, that's like Lego now, and he does it on the computer or on the iPad. I think he would enjoy it, and that generation would enjoy it. So now it's rendered, and I can sculpt it, which is going to give me some additional capabilities. By the way, you could pinch and zoom and all that. And the sculpting, let's get a sculpting tool here, is going to allow me to kind of do a little bit of molding. And this is not symmetric now, so I can kind of give it a little more personality.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
you can
starting
see.
To look like
It's creepy, right?
A creepy bunny.
Yeah. I can sharpen, which is kind of, if I see, I'm getting a little mouth going there. So you can see, you can, this is starting to look like something out of Monsters Inc. Actually.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe I'll put a little eye here, push that eye in, and carve out an area there.
It's a duck.
There,
Ish.
That's an indent. It's getting really weird.
Duck.
Yeah, it's getting creepy. And then let's go back and we can color it. So I can say, okay, I want to let's give it blue eyes. All right, I make my brush a little bit smaller here. Get some. That was probably, I can undo it, but
This is something that you put together in a short amount of time.
You want to play with this a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
It's got an airbrush here. Let's make it a green mouth like this. You see, I mean, you can now. All of this, by the way, is going to be preserved, which is kind of amazing, in the final printed project. And then we can do a rendering. You can save this out. You can save it as a picture. So Now I can put this on my Instagram. I don't know. I think that's pretty good for something I did that quickly, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
And so there's lots of. So we're taking pictures of it. I can export it out to my Twitter feed and share my monster.
I don't know if you want to do that.
And then the final thing, which I think is absolutely amazing, is now that I can have it actually physically printed, which is really.
Well, you know, it's kind of
really
neat.
amazing.
You could take a couple pictures. You know, let's say you were, I don't know, running it by somebody. Is this good, or do you want this, or should we print some of these out?
Nightmares?
Yeah, then you can get a couple images done first before you go ahead and get the 3D.
Now I haven't
rendering.
tried ordering it yet, so because I just started playing with this a little bit. So I'm very curious. It says, by the way, make sure your creature is balanced and can stand up.
Oh, yeah, or you just sort of get this little blob
it's just gonna
that
fall
sits
over.
there.
I'm going to call this my creature. I'm going to upload it to Sculpteo, and then I don't know what the cost is, but I think that's, you know, it's going to take me a while to upload this.
Right.
I'll find out how much it would cost to print it, and then I'm going to get you one for Valentine's Day.
Thank you, but at least to make the
effort. It's the thought that counts.
Well, and also at least to get to a point where then you can decide whether you want a 3D printed
prototyping
creature is only $2, $1.99 in the app store.
$1.99 for the app. To play with all of that.
Yeah.
I just get the sense that kids would love it. And if you have a kid who this would be a first step to getting them into 3D modeling, because it's very simple. It might be kind of an interesting thing. You can just, I'll tell you what, I'll glue a magnet to its butt and you can put it on your fridge.
Sounds perfect. Except that I have one of those fridges where magnets don't work.
You have a wooden fridge?
No, I have one of those brushed stainless.
I hate those.
They're so annoying. I like magnets.
I want magnets.
But I have magnets on my fuse box, so I'll put it on my fuse box.
Okay, so $18.50 to make a 3-inch by 1.79 inch by 1.9 inch sculptor of that.
So it's a little guy.
Well, no, I can make it bigger.
Oh, you can.
It just costs me more.
I see.
Do you want this thing to be 6 inches tall?
Well,
I think that would be a good size. It's only $136.
Okay, so this is
That's
something.
a Valentine's gift.
Yeah, well, or
let me
or
add
a birthday,
that to my cart.
or a birthday gift. Don't print that thing out.
4 inches
you
is
can
only
do better.
$42.
You can do better.
But I think this would give you nightmares. You could put it on your pillow next to your iPad.
You know, your ideas are getting better all the time.
Purchased.
Yep. 136 big ones. And that'll do it for this episode of iPad Today, everyone. It always has to end with Leo buying something he shouldn't be. So this is where we wrap up. Thanks everybody for watching, listening, watching us live, watching us on demand after the fact. We'll see you next Thursday on iPad Today.
It's better than an ashtray from summer camp. You hit the nail on the head. Yeah. Aussie. Oi.